Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. And before we get started, I would just like to give out my hearts and prayers go out to everybody out there, family and friends of loved ones in the Haiti area. This past weekend, they had a devastating earthquake that the death toll is rising, and also, there is a storm that's supposed to be coming their way. So it's really devastating for them. So my prayers and hearts and prayers go out to everybody that has been affected by it, whether you're here in the U.S. that has family in Haiti, or if you're out there in Haiti, my prayers go out to you and pray for better days. All right, let's get into it. Today I have two topics that I want to discuss. Both of them are hitting down here in the Florida area. I don't. One of them may be a countrywide topic, and another one is hitting the state of Florida very dearly. First, I want to talk about the declining in 24-hour service. Um, what am I talking about? Basically, I have seen since the pandemic started that there has been a decline in 24-hour service in most businesses, meaning supermarket stores, online services, wherever the case may be. Um, one of my okay, one of example, Walmart. Walmart down here, I don't know in other areas and in other cities, Walmart has a lot of their locations, well, I would say 99% of their locations down here in South Florida is no longer 24-hour service. The Walmarts that I have been to, some of them that I have been to, they close at 11 p.m. And the ones, and then majority of them that closed at 11 p.m. was 24-hour services. So it's like, wow. So, and now, not only Walgreens, not only Walmart, but Walgreens as well, because a lot of the Walgreens stores that I have been to have ceased up 24-hour operations. Now, back in the day, years ago, it used to be where like 80 to 90% of all Walmarts was all Walgreens was 24 hours, and you had very to little CVS's that was 24 hours. Now it's the other way around. Majority of every CVS I've seen is 24 hours, and very little to none Walgreens is 24 hours. And I'm looking at it as if the coronavirus is really putting a halt on a lot of services for a lot of people. Because there are people that are at nighttime, that are doing the wait. And then I've just been informed by a coworker of mine that, saying somebody told her that basically here in South Florida, I don't know about other places, but here in South Florida, 7-Eleven, 7-Eleven is the the convenience chain, the convenience store chain, where you can go in and you can get snacks, and you get personal products and stuff. It's like a convenience store. It's a chain of convenience stores. They're doing away with stores that doesn't have an attached gas station. Meaning, down here, they've been like it's been like I would say 10 years ago, it was hard to find a 7-Eleven down here because they rarely had 7-Elevens. But now 7-Elevens is popping up everywhere, and now the majority of the 7-Elevens that are popping up is ones that have gas stations. Because years ago, 7-Eleven really didn't have gas stations. You only found like one or two rare 7-Elevens that had a gas station. Majority of the 7-Elevens was just standalone 7-Elevens. They didn't have gas stations. Now 7-Elevens is now creating more 7-Elevens with gas stations. And a lot of the standalone 7-Elevens that doesn't have gas stations are being eliminated because they're only going to be doing the 7-Eleven with gas stations. And I'm like, that's not a good sign, you know, because you have people that need 7-Elevens that don't, granted, you can go inside of a 7-Eleven in a gas station, you ain't got to have a car. But it's like, now they're leading most 7-Elevens in neighborhoods that probably need it. To me, I like 7-Eleven better than the regular convenience stores because number one, 7-Eleven has, the 7-Eleven rewards, and they have deals. Even though you go in a corner store, you can get a bag of chips for 50 cents, and 7-Eleven is probably 79 or 80 cents to a dollar. But then again, 7-Eleven has more variety, and they have slushies, and They have better variety of stuff, and then you can also get, what I'm saying, hot food and stuff like that for $1. You can get probably hot dog for $1. Stuff. 7-Eleven is like a upscale convenience store, not upscale, but like convenience stores like corner stores in neighborhoods to basically sell. You know, they're cheap on certain things, but then again, 7-Eleven is more of a convenience. And that's why I say, a lot of these places, since the coronavirus, I've seen a lot of decline and a lot of services for a lot of people. Like I've seen a lot of stores that say, oh, I would like our temporary hours is from 8 in the morning to 7 at night, or and a lot of these stores, they have it where, it used to be where you can come in 24 hours. And now a lot of these stores are not 24 hours anymore due to the pandemic. And I always stress out, is that temporarily or is it permanent? Because just like the other day, I was coming home and it was after 11 and I was finna hit a Walmart. And the Walmart that I was gonna hit was a 24-hour Walmart because I've been there before. And then it was like, dang, it's after 11. And I looked it up and I'm like, I know I'm not gonna be able to make it to that Walmart in time enough to go. And now, I don't know about other states. If you are in another state, and let me know about the businesses in your other states. Email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page. Let me know about other states and things that's going on with them, because like down here it's like a decline in most 24-hour services. Like a lot of Walgreens have, and I don't think the Walgreens services is because of the pandemic. I just think that it's in general that Walgreens is probably doing away with 24-hour services, because, and not only, I know Walmart stopped 24-hour services because of the pandemic, because at one point Walmart had to close down. Not only closed down because of the pandemic, because remember when the death of George Floyd went around and Black Lives Matter movement started going around, Walmart started closing their doors early because of the riots and, what I'm saying, the protesters and stuff. So that was one of the reasons why Walmart started closing their doors early, because of the riots and the protests and stuff. But not only that, the pandemic, to where when there was a curfew and people had to be in at a certain time, they had to close their stores early. And now that we're getting back to a sort of normalcy, even though the cases are going back up with the Delta variant, from, I talked about it in my last show, the Delta variant, even though cases are going back up, they're still at that coronavirus level of service. A lot of these businesses are still doing coronavirus service levels. Like, they're not 24 hours, or they close at midnight, or they close at 5, or they close, at a certain time. And a lot of these people are still under coronavirus services. And Walmart is one of them. And it used to be where you can go at Walmart 2 o'clock in the morning, you can go shopping in Walmart. And a lot of people used to like going at Walmart at night, because at nighttime it's less crowded at Walmart than it is in the daytime. Because the daytime you get a lot of people come in because they got their kids and they got family. But you get a lot of people, but you get people at night that like to shop. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like, oh, it's more better for them to shop at night because it's less crowded. You can easily get what you want and stuff like that. But now, due to the the coronavirus and the pandemic and a lot of stuff that's been going around, Walmart has ceased 24 hours operations. I'm saying here in the South Florida area. I can't state for the rest of the Florida area, and I can't state for the rest of the country. But if you do have a 24-hour Walgreens in your neighborhood, you are blessed to have one, because it is hard to find one. CVS, I know, is 24 hours, and every CVS now is becoming 24 hours. Walgreens is slowly ceasing 24-hour services. Like most of the Walgreens I've seen that was 24 hours have stopped being 24 hours. And 7-Eleven is now doing away with a lot of standalone. I don't know what 7-Eleven is doing that for. I don't know if it's because of the pandemic. I don't know if it's because of declining businesses, but a lot of the standalone 7-Elevens was making money. I've seen at least about 3 or 4 7-Elevens down here in the South Florida area that has closed down. And I was wondering why they kept closing, And a coworker of mine said she knows somebody that used to work at one of these 7-Elevens, and they told her that a lot of standalone 7-Elevens is the ones that doesn't have a gas station attached to it, meaning the regular convenience 7-Eleven. They're doing away with them. They're only going to be operating 7-Elevens with gas stations. Now, I don't believe that's across the country. I just think that's maybe a South Florida thing, because I don't think that you should get away with do away with all the convenience 7-Elevens. Period. I don't think you should be able to do that. Because 7-Eleven, basically, their model is basically a convenience store. That's basically what 7-Eleven is giving on. And convenience store doesn't necessarily have to be a gas station, you know. And I like 7-Eleven because it's a convenience, because not only, like I say, there's a difference between 7-Eleven and corner stores, which is also called convenience stores as well. 7-Eleven has rewards where you can put in your number and then you build up points for rewards and stuff. And also 7-Eleven has sales. You can get 2 sodas for maybe $2, but at the corner store it may, or you could get a hot meal. 7-Eleven, they make pizza. They have little snacks and stuff you can get. They have other stuff that you can get that corner stores doesn't have. Yeah, most corner stores have a restaurant inside of them where they make like chicken and fries and maybe, some type of soul food or whatever, rice and beans. They have that stuff like that. But 7-Eleven, pizza, hot dogs, nachos, you get convenient stuff, simple stuff, and then they have, chips, and they have slushies and ice cream and stuff like that. So it's more of a convenience. Corner stores is just like, oh yeah, you can go in and get chips and a soda for $1. Yeah, you can't get a chips and a soda for $1 in 7-Eleven, but still you get, more stuff. You can get a slice of pizza for $1. You can get excuse me, a hot dog for $1. It's certain things that you can get out of 7-Eleven that you can't get out of a convenience store, and then there's certain things out of a convenience store you can get out of 7-Eleven. But it always go back to it. There's been the decline in services, and not only that, decline in 24-hour services. And I want to know, what do y'all feel about this, and how do y'all feel about decline in services? Because to me, I feel like it is fastly, it is, because I know a lot of people don't go out as much at night because of the pandemic, and I know a lot of service, just like with a lot of clubs. There has been clubs that only operate certain hours. Now they're getting back to, a lot of clubs are going back to regular hours, but then there are some clubs that are operating Corona hours. It's a club down here in Fort Lauderdale. I'm not going to say the name, but it's a club. Before the pandemic, on weekends they used to be open till 5 in the morning. Then they got shut down. Then I guess because of the shutdown, management had to find new management because the club shut down, and I guess the owner couldn't keep up the business. Then they went under new management, and under new management now they have it where on regular days, because they're open, since certain days. On certain days they open till 2, and then on the weekends they're open till 3. And I'm like, yeah, because now a lot of these clubs, I don't know if that's a permanent or temporarily, but a lot of these clubs are doing coronavirus pandemic hours. And a lot of these places, like I said, there are discontinuing service. There is a decline in shipping services, and it's not just with 24-hour service. It's also with um, a lot of businesses, like a lot of clothing businesses close at 9. Now they're closing 6, 7 o'clock in the evening. Coronavirus. So I just want to know how y'all feel about that, and if you have any Walmarts or any businesses that's been 24 hours that are still 24 hours, or if you have a business that has been declining business, let us know. Email us. Comment at the bottom of this page. Let us know about it, and we're going to do an update on this in the very future, because of course we want to know, is this a temporarily situation for decline in service, or is a permanent situation? We all know that the 7-Eleven is a permanent situation. Walmart, I want to know if this is going to be temporarily on 24 hour on decline and ship of 24-hour service, where the 24-hour service of the stores come back, or what? And also what other stores like Walgreens and stuff like that, where a lot of these stores are getting away, is they're going to get back to having 24-hour services and stuff like that. We want to know. Our next topic is a state of Florida topic, and this is a topic that I want to discuss because I know a lot of people are really going crazy over it. Governor Ron DeSantis has issued a ban on mask mandate, meaning that you don't, and this is in for public schools. You don't, um, there is no need to wear a mask in public schools, and anybody that does not obey his rulings will not receive funding. This has been an issue that's been going down for the past couple of weeks, because a lot of families and a lot of school officials and a lot of school districts have been fighting this issue. And down here in Miami-Dade, it's the same way. And Broward, they meaning, and a lot of people say that they don't like the fact. I don't like it either because of the fact. This is what he's saying basically. I don't want people wearing masks. They don't need to wear the mask. But if you go and do not abide by my ban on mask rules, mask mandate, you won't get funding. But Broward is saying, okay, we're gonna wear the mask. We agreed to wear the mask, because we're trying to keep teachers and our students safe. Because remember, there's a Delta variant out there, and the cases are going back up. And right now we're at 20 something hundred, 20 plus hundred cases of new cases right now. Maybe up to 30 something by now, 30 plus. But you got to realize one thing. You can't. This virus is going to be here for the next 2-3 years. Because now you have a Delta variant and you have cases going up. This virus is going to be here for another 2-3 years. You can't stop. How you going to stop this virus? Remember in my last episode, they're blaming, when I said that they're blaming the coronavirus on the young people and the unvaccinated. The young people can't get vaccinated because there isn't a vaccine out there for the younger generation. You can't get vaccine under the age of 13, 12, or 11, if I'm not mistaken. And then you talking about the unvaccinated. No, it's not that. It's the fact that y'all are lifting up the bans on mask mandate. And now you're doing it in schools where you're telling the teachers and the students and the superintendents and the principals, if they don't abide by your rules, they're not getting funding for the schools, and the teachers are not going to get paid. One lady said and commented, which was a commissioner, not a commissioner, a school board member of Broward County. She said, "I am my brother's keeper," meaning I am here to protect the safety of my fellow workers and students. Meaning that she is, even if it has to, and she said, even if it has to jeopardize my salary, I'm willing to do it. Because a lot of these people are looking out for the safety of their kids. You're telling these people don't wear masks in school. And if you tell these people to wear masks, you're going to lose school funding. What's the purpose? That means you're trying to get cases of coronavirus going back up. Why won't you let these people wear masks in school? My thing is, it should be up to the decision of the school districts and the superintendents if they want to wear a mask or not. You shouldn't have to threaten them by not giving them funding because they're not buying by your rules. It should be able to say it's up to the school system and it's up to the people to actually say whether they want the students and the teachers to wear masks or not. It should be up to, just like with remote learning. I feel if the parents think that it's still unsafe for their kids to go inside the school, kids should be able to do online learning still. Just like last year or last school season, where a lot of the where every kid had to do online learning, it should be the same way. If a parent does not feel that a kid is safe going back to school, then they should have it where the teacher should do in class learning, and also do virtual learning. So that the teacher should have a computer right here and the class right here, so that the computer is teaching the at home kids, and you also have income, because remember, you still got to stay 6 feet apart, social distancing. Classes now are crowded more than ever. You got one teacher to probably every 30 kids, like 20 to 30 kids. And how can you social distance in a class of 20 kids when you got to stay 6 feet apart. And I believe the 6 feet apart should still be taking place regardless if people got vaccinated or not. Because you got to realize you got first graders, second graders, third graders, kindergartners, you know what I'm saying, fourth graders. You got these kids that can't get vaccinated because there isn't a vaccine out there for them, and they still gotta wear masks and they still gotta social distance because you get still got you know, where it may be a vaccine for younger people, but there is not a vaccine for, you know, from my understanding, you can only get vaccines if you're like 12 or up or so, if I'm not mistaken. But then you have to look at it as if the teachers as well too. So you're not looking out for the safety of the teachers and the students. You're just saying, okay, if you plan to mask up and you don't go by my rules, you're not getting funding. School. Joe Biden has funding, and the funding that they have, I've seen the news, and they said they have set aside funding, and that funding can go towards education because he's saying that the governors is like the president of the state, and the governors can do what they feel is right for their state. He doesn't have control over that. But if they feel as if whatever the governor's doing is not right, they have funding for that. Like they say they have funding to help fund teachers' salaries in schools and stuff so that they don't go bad. Because now that you're telling these people no, if you can't wear a mask, and if you don't abide by my rules, you don't get any funding. A lot of these teachers are going to not want to go to teach. They're going to say, I'm not going to be teaching for free. I'm not going to sit up here and teach the kids and I can't pay my bills. You know, but there are some dedicated teachers that will still teach the kids for free, you know, because they have loyal to their job. But then you got people that are out here that will say, I'm not going to sit up here and teach this child ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, and the governor saying that he's not going to pay me because we want to wear masks. You're creating a big chaos in these schools, and and I know it's just not just down here in South Florida. I'm quite sure there's other cities and other counties in the state of Florida that are saying the same thing. You're not putting the safety at hand. It's the same thing Trump was doing when he was in office. You know, he was saying, I want to open everything back up, you know, because we need money. But then Biden was saying, I want to open everything back up safely. You just want to open everything back up and spread the virus. But I want to open everything back up cautiously and safely. It's the same thing with Ron DeSantis is doing, allegedly. He's saying basically, I want the schools to open up with no mask and go in and do what you want to do, and then the virus spreads. But you're not looking at the other part of it. This virus is still out here. We got the Delta variant, and we still got cases going up. And now there's 20 plus cases, 20,000 plus cases going up. And the death toll is rising, you know. So you got to look at it as if we are now far from away from this virus. I am at home right now, you know, doing my video. Normally, you know, you'll see me at a park or you see me at another location, whatever, and because, you know, of the situation. But I'm basically doing my part to stay safe, you know. And I look at it as if it's not just because of the cases going up. It's because we're far from this virus over. Because you thought you had the virus under control when you say everybody get vaccinated. But everybody can't get vaccinated. Because number one, you got people that are maybe allergic to certain stuff that's in that vaccine. Number two, you got people that, you know, have medical conditions that can't get vaccinated because of their medical conditions. And then number three, you have people that's basically may not be eligible for the vaccine. Like 10-year-olds, 5-year-olds, you know, you may have, you know, because you don't have a vaccine out there for everybody. So my thing is, you're blaming this coronavirus and this pandemic on people who haven't gotten vaccinated and the younger people. And then and then not only that, you're telling people basically, if you don't abide by my rules of not masking up in the school, I'm going to defund your county. So that means you're letting the coronavirus in the school. My thing is, you should say, look, every county has its own superintendent. It's up to the county to whether they want a mask mandate or not mask mandate. That's why a lot of these counties are having debating on if we mask up, we lose funding. If we don't mask up, we get funding. And a lot of these counties, like Broward, just decided today is a Monday. I don't like to put it. I don't really like to put dates on my programs because some of y'all be watching it days later and weeks later. But today is a Monday, and today is supposed to be the day that Miami-Dade County decides on they're going to have a mask mandate in their public schools. Broward already decided they're going to mask mandate all their students. So with that being said, they're going to be losing funding, but they're also thinking the safety of the teachers, the students, and the faculties, faculties and staff. They're looking at the safety of all of their workers and students, because you got janitors, lunch people, cause especially the lunch people. The lunch people, they're working around food, and you're not having a mass serving food. Though nobody wants to see somebody breathing all over even though they don't breathe over the food, but then it's like you got to work around food and you ain't got on no mask and the virus is in, you know. And then you have to realize the cases are going up because people are not wearing their masks in public places. I still go into grocery stores and I still see people walking around without masks because a lot of these stores are not um a lot of these stores are not having mandatory masks, mandatory for you to put on your mask. A lot of these stores are not requiring you to have masks. That's why the cases are going up. If you've seen my last episode of my last show I did, I talked about how they are blaming the coronavirus cases going up in the Delta variant due to people not getting vaccinated and stuff, and the younger people. No, it's because y'all are lifting the ban on mask mandate. When you go inside these stores, when you go inside these businesses, they're now requiring you to wear a mask. And that's why the cases are going up. Cause like I said, if you go in a grocery store and you touch a box of cereal, and then you put the box of cereal back, somebody else come and touch that box, and 3 or 4 people done touch that box. Because it have been several times in the past where I go get something and then I put it in my cart and I'm like, oh, I don't want it no more. And then I go put it back. And then somebody else can come and touch that cart. That's bacteria over bacteria over bacteria touching that one product. Regardless if 3 or 4 people touch it, regardless if 2 people touch it. And then you also have that you don't know who's been vaccinated or not. You don't know who's got the virus or not. Because some of these people are walking, that's just like with HIV and AIDS. These people can walk around with HIV and AIDS and don't know they have the virus because it can be in your system for years and you don't know you have the virus or you don't show symptoms. It's the same thing with coronavirus. You can walk around with the coronavirus and don't show the symptoms, but you can also spread the coronavirus. And they even said it with the Delta variant. Even if you got vaccinated, you can still spread the virus. So how you gonna sit up here and tell people either you abide by my rules or you don't get no funding for the school? And a lot of these people are going to be losing funding, you know. And I feel like that's dead wrong, And I look at it as if we are not far from this virus. We are not far away from this virus. We are still in this virus, and the cases are going up, and it's going to be another year or two before we can get this virus under control. Because everybody is not going to get vaccinated. And it's just the God honest truth. I mean, y'all may not look at it as if y'all may think that it's okay and everything and all that, but you have to realize one thing: it's far from over. I want to know, what do y'all think about this? I also want to know, is it just in the state of Florida? If you live in the state of Florida, is your county um, abide by the rules of the governor? If you live in another state, is what is your state doing to state safety protocols for this? Also, I didn't want to know about what services that has been suspended in your state as well, due to the pandemic. If anything has been suspended, if there's no 24-hour service, lesser businesses closing early, I need to know all that. Email me roundtable00@yahoo.com. This is an interesting topic that I want to talk about with the schools, because now it's like a lot of people are debating on bringing their kids to school because of the fact that you're telling people they shouldn't have to mask up to get education, but then again we have cases going up. So I want to know what y'all feel about this topic, both topics that I have discussed with you today. Email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. I want to know how y'all feel about it. You can also comment at the bottom of this page. And don't forget to check out my previous episodes. You know, this topic relies on my previous episode of cases going up and the mask mandate. So this is just like actual follow up on that episode because it talks about mask mandate, but it's talking about mask mandate in public school systems. This is the Roundtable. I am your host, C Money. I thank y'all for watching this. Please stay safe. Please stay well. Get vaccinated if you can. If you can't get vaccinated, stay safe. Be out there in this world, and we'll see you on the next episode.